for those who know that questioning everything includes questioning this show's existence. The Last Show with David Cooper.
Are you thinking of creating deep fake videos of your favorite actor, Matthew McConaughey? Well, you might want to be careful because he's trademarked himself and he could sue you. I'm here with Carmi Levy to talk about celebrities and deep fakes and other stories from the tech industry on It's Time for Technology Time. Carmi, welcome to the program.
Oh, good to be with you, David. Definitely my best time of the week.
When I think of celebs that people would want to deepfake, I think like Taylor Swift or like Brad Pitt. Matthew McConaughey doesn't come to mind, but he's trailblazing here. I think it annoys him that people are stealing his voice, stealing his likeness, creating videos, creating memes. And you know what? He's got every right to be annoyed.
He sure does. I mean, look, people recreating their own Lincoln commercials in the Costco parking lot, probably not something he's really happy with. All right. But like he's got a point because AI video generators are making it ridiculously easy for anyone to create a realistic looking video of pretty much anyone they wish. And you don't even have to know how it works. You just type a prompt and poof, out comes the video. So he went to the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office and he submitted a bunch of likenesses of himself. So he's standing on a porch, he's smiling, he's having a conversation, and of course, an audio clip of
all right.
And so that way, if it's trademarked, then it's harder for someone else to use it to train AI, to use it to create AI-generated assets. And it's kind of a new weapon in the war against protecting kind of who we are in this AI world. I think good on him, and I'm hoping more people do it.
What's really interesting to me is Matthew McConaughey is an investor in an app that can do voice cloning and AI voice creation. If you're ever on the phone with a customer service rep and they sound really real, but you're pretty sure they're a robot, it might be this product. It's called 11 Labs. It's kind of freaky if you try it, how good it is at creating voices or cloning voices. How is the listener right now convinced they're not listening to me on 11 Labs? I don't know. I actually have tried it, Carmi. We were supposed to try it and create a fake interview. That never happened.
Oh,
but
yeah,
anyway,
we didn't.
it doesn't quite. When you do it, people might think it sounds like you, but if you hear your own voice with it, it sounds odd. There's just something off about it. The way you talk is like almost modeled perfectly, but not quite.
Yeah, and that's only because that's where the technology is now. But obviously, over time, it'll get better. And there's a lot of irony there, right? He's investing in this technology.
Yeah, I want to make sure I didn't derail too much. He's an investor of these AI, cloning products, and so that's kind of curious to me that he's on the one hand trying to prevent it from happening, but on the other hand, he's investing in the tech. There seems to be a contradiction there.
There is, but I guess maybe because of his involvement in the industry, he realizes the existential threat it poses to people whose careers are literally based on their likeness, based on their voice, their what they look like, what they sound like, how they move, and that if that can be easily replicated digitally, then that puts their career under threat. And so he's trying to play both sides of the fence, and I think also it gives the industry more to work with, because if 11 Labs can't find a legal way to sell its products, and by cooperating with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office and cooperating with stars like Matthew McConaughey, then it has no hope. So he's got to strike a pretty fine balance.
Let's go to our next story. ChatGPT. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's this really cool app. You can type
it's a little
things.
app, I hear. Yeah, it's a little popular with the kids.
You can type things into it, like tell me what ChatGPT is. Actually, I'd be curious to ask ChatGPT what it thinks it is. But these companies like Anthropic, this is another huge AI, large language model company, they're struggling to monetize. And yet the investment for them to have these computer infrastructure, these computer networks to actually hold the app up, to prop it up, incredible amounts of electricity, incredible amounts of computing power. I'm sort of wondering what the next step is. There's billions, maybe even trillions of dollars backing AI, but in what way is it making money? And so ChatGPT, I guess, in an attempt to make money, they are rolling out ads, and they are rolling out very hyper-specific ads to you based on your conversations. I guess this was the next step to monetize. I'm not sure.
Yeah, and the money, it is into the trillions. OpenAI alone, which is the company that invented ChatGPT, they've committed to spending $1.4 trillion on AI infrastructure over the next 8 years. So things like data centers, the power grid to power them, the networks to connect them. It's really expensive being an AI company, and if you're giving it away for free, and ChatGPT is largely free, they do have subscription tiers as well on top of it, but that's not enough to really make it a sustainable business. It loses huge amounts of money because it's so expensive to build all that capacity. So at some point, you've got to monetize it. You've got to convert all of those free 800 million users who are using it regularly into revenue. Google did it. Everyone else is doing it as well. And this is just the Meta did it with Facebook and Instagram. And I would expect that the AI industry is going to do the same thing. And even though Sam Altman, the CEO, he always called them a last resort. He hated ads. He called it uniquely unsettling to combine ads with AI. And yet here he is. I think even he recognizes if they want to grow, this is what they have to do, and they're going to have to insert them. The good news is they're promising anyway that it's not going to affect how the chatbot works. In other words, the answers that you get aren't going to be influenced by the ads. They'll be displayed separately, which sounds very similar to what Google said when it introduced ads a generation ago. And we all know what happened next. So, basically ads are going to be competing against organic content generated by the chatbot. And at some point, it's going to become even more difficult to tell the difference between the two.
Imagine, like, I don't know if this is true, I'm making it up, but imagine the best way to get rid of a headache was to go for a run, okay? Like, yeah. I know that's not true, but imagine it was. Mm-hmm. And then I say, hey, ChatGPT, how can I get rid of my headache? And now it should tell me to run, but instead it says, try Tylenol and click this one button to integrate with Amazon. We'll have it delivered into your door in 15 minutes or less. Like, this, honestly, it feels like an episode of Black Mirror, that dystopian sci-fi show. I don't like it, but I don't use ChatGPT that often, so I guess it doesn't offend me. But this is the future of how people are going to query and search on the internet.
It is. It is a very dystopian future, and quite frankly, it's our dystopian present. Because look at the internet as it is now, and it's completely overrun with ads. I think we would have had to be spectacularly naive to assume that AI wouldn't do exactly the same thing. And because it's AI, those ads are going to be even more high fidelity, more targeted, more annoying.
I had this gentleman, he's sort of a tech guy, Cory Doctorow on my show, his book In Poopification.
Yeah.
And basically
we can't say that word. That's right. Okay.
I think he said it on my show. I didn't get in trouble. But his theory is basically like, at first, they're selling a product to you, but when these big companies grow and try to monetize, you become the product. And so
That's right.
I could be
Your
paying
data.
I could be paying ChatGPT to get responses back, and yet I'm the product. They're selling me to advertisers.
There is no free lunch in technology, and we all seem to think we're getting such a great deal because we sign up for these services and they don't have to pay for them. But in reality, our data is being harvested to within 6 inches of our lives, and that is what fuels the economy. And that's why they continually try to keep us engaged. The longer we're on it, the more they can collect, the more money they make off of us.
At Sierra, discover top workout gear at incredible prices, which might lead to another discovery. Your headphones haven't been connected this whole time. Awkward. Discover top brands at unexpectedly low prices. Sierra, let's get moving.
Mr. Carmi Levy, a tech analyst, is here on It's Time for Technology Time. Imagine calling the cops because, I don't know, you have a dispute with your neighbor. It's somewhat urgent, but not an emergency. You call the non-emergency line. You would expect an operator to help you dispatch a cop to your house, and yet the Toronto police are rolling out AI to handle these non-emergency calls. My worry is it won't go that badly, and then emergency calls will use the tech, although maybe it will go badly. I'm here with Carmi Levy. What could go wrong? Carmi, welcome in.
Well, it's AI. What could possibly go wrong? No, and the potential is there, right? So you call into the cops, and instead of a human picking up for that non-emergency call, an AI picks it up, and maybe it asks the wrong question, and or maybe it makes the wrong suggestion, and next thing you know, you're going down a rabbit hole. And so the potential is definitely there.
Also, sometimes people are kind of timid. They're like, I don't want to bother the cops. My husband's chest is really hurting him, but I don't know if it's a heart attack. It might be. Maybe I'll call the non-emergency line. You call, and then the operator says, oh, no, this is an emergency, and they escalate it to 911. I don't want that person to be AI.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. I think the recognition, like if you call for, somebody tagged my house, or, complaint about someone driving in your neighborhood, or some, a simple theft, those are non-emergent calls. And so if you call in and it's determined, according to the description from the TPS, that it is an emergency, they will escalate it to a human call taker, and it will be treated as an emergency. So the AI is constantly looking for signs that, this really is a time-sensitive issue. Let's get a human involved. And
But do we want AI to hallucinate when that happens? No, we don't.
No, we don't. But it's kind of like replacing one sort of bad outcome with another, because in the current state, if you call the non-emergency line, you're probably going to be sitting on hold for, on average, they're saying the wait time was about 6 minutes and 11 seconds. So, for a lot of people, that's a lot of time. You multiply that out by the number of calls that they make, and that's tens of thousands of hours, in some cases, years of waiting time over the course of a year.
All right, fine. You've convinced me it's not as a bad idea as I thought. I'm not saying it's a good idea, but you are convincing me.
Yeah, we're weighing the pluses and the minuses. And this is technology. It's Canadian-born technology companies called Hyper. They are a startup. They're based in Ontario. And this is technology that's already in use in Halton region. So police forces there are already using it for non-emergency calls. And so some of the learnings from those pilot programs are going to be incorporated into the GPS experience as well. So yeah, I would expect there will be headlines of hallucinations or calls gone wrong. But at the same time, I would expect that they're also a fairly small minority of it. This isn't ChatGPT trained on massive data sets. It is trained on very specific calls from other emergency call centers. So it's very targeted, very focused, and the likelihood that it goes off completely off the rails a lot less than we might think.
All right, I got to work in a joke here. Toronto Police Service, TPS. AI takes the call, generates a report. Now you've got AI-generated TPS reports. Office Space, anyone? Anyone?
Our dystopian future arrives.
I lament that Carmi, Levy, your time on the show is the AI show, but I feel like these are the tech headlines these days. So let's go into the next one. I look at cat videos on YouTube, and now my girlfriend doesn't want to watch them with me because she's not sure whether the cat videos are real or not. And I'm like, dude, we're just looking at cats. Who cares if it's AI slop? But you basically, at this point, you don't know whether the fun videos you watch or it takes you a second, or maybe you're not thinking, but it really is AI slop. And the number of videos that show up on the feed that are just garbage, like they've got an AI generated thumbnail and then it's just like totally a waste of your time, is ever increasing. And that's the non-dangerous stuff. Of course, there's the dangerous stuff like fake political, targeted videos, things like this. It's a problem on YouTube. And I guess YouTube realizes it's a problem because they say they want to do something about it.
Yeah, so their CEO, his name is Neil Mohan. Every year he sends out an annual letter that basically says these are the things that we're going to prioritize in the year to come. And so this year it's AI slop. He's saying that they need to reduce AI slop and get better at detecting deepfakes. Those are their priorities. And he's saying it's getting harder to detect the difference between real videos and synthetic or AI created videos. And that's a problem. And from where I sit, that's an existential threat to the very value of YouTube. Why would we watch YouTube if we can't tell the difference between videos that are created and videos that are real? And so I think this is a good thing, but at the same time, I think there's a huge amount of irony in the guy from YouTube saying this is a problem because YouTube is owned by Google. Google also has a tool called VO3. Google also has an AI platform called Gemini. Google is one of the biggest sources of AI-generated deepfakes and misinformation online. And a lot of the videos that are flooding YouTube, and by some estimates, 20% of newly suggested content on YouTube is AI-generated. 10% of channels are completely AI as well. And the irony that he's saying it's a problem, yet the source of it is his own company. I find kind of amusing and ironic and somewhat sad.
I mean, this is common of big tech behemoths. Like, the left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing.
They're all doing this. Exactly. And every social media company and every stream company has an AI capability. Meta has developed Meta AI. X incorporates Grok. Why would Google be any different? This is just where the industry is going. But let's face it, guys, you created the problem. You should solve it.
Now, on the one hand, this is going in a terrible direction. We're not even talking about the way that if AI videos and AI generated content can influence politics and perhaps the collapse of society. But if this technology gets better and better in 30 years, and I'm totally derailing here, in 30 years, I'm really looking forward to asking, I just type a prompt. I say, generate me the best space opera in the Star Trek style possible. And then AI generates an amazing TV show.
Yeah, you're probably not going to have to wait 30 years for that. It's coming faster than we think.
Until it's really that good, maybe not 30 years, but it's not tomorrow. We have some time before like AI entertainment is actually human, great director, amazing 100% on Rotten Tomatoes quality. I mean, that's not going to be tomorrow, Carmi.
No, it probably won't be. It'll take some time, but we will get there at some point. It is moving more quickly. The technology is getting better. The iterations are getting ever shorter. So, with each generation, like from VO3 to VO2 to VO3, the quality level increased by a significant amount. It was actually shocking to see the outputs from just that one version alone. So, yeah, I'd say in a couple of years, we might be very surprised by what's created. I think we're okay if it's transparent. I think we're okay if it's labeled. I think we're okay if the companies do a better job of making it clear this is not real. This is real. Almost like the EXIF data in a photo. Tell me more about how AI was involved in its creation. Then I can decide as a consumer how I want to deal with it.
Yeah, but there's nothing stopping another company called TubeU, competing with YouTube and not labeling it, until governments step in and say AI videos need to be labeled. I still think society is going to collapse, but that's a conversation for another day. Let's do a non-AI story. Let's go to Las Vegas's Atari Hotel. I love Atari. I love ColecoVision. I love like retro technology, but it looks like not happening.
Yeah. So, I mean, in just before COVID, so January 2020, Atari still exists as a company. It's been bought and sold a million times since its heyday. But they announced plans to open 8 resort-style hotels across the U.S., and they were supposed to be the first immersive gaming hotels anywhere. And it sounded really cool, and Las Vegas was one of them. And then, of course, 2 months later, COVID hits. Everything goes into deep freeze. And now after COVID, the company's been trying to develop a couple of them, one in Phoenix, one in Las Vegas. And now, as it turns out, Las Vegas has just gotten canceled. And they're saying they're still going to develop the one in Phoenix, but they also said they're still looking for investment. So here you are 6 years after you originally announced it, and you're still looking for money. I think this is vaporware. As much as I'm a fan of retro games, particularly Atari, I had one back in the day. It's just not going to happen. And if we're going to play this game, it's going to have to be on a retro console in our living room, not in some hotel.
I'm going to do the worst possible thing in radio. I'm going to open up a can of worms with 20 seconds left on the clock here. I do wonder, a lot of foreigners, I'm Canadian, I live in the U.S., a lot of Canadians aren't traveling to Las Vegas. That city is taking a hit because of the way the U.S. is acting with tariffs and stuff. I wonder if that has something to do with that. And you have literally 2 seconds to respond to that big can of worms.
Las Vegas, as we know it, is dead. I think those shoot for the moon projects like the Atari Hotel, not going to happen for a very long time.
We did it. All right. That's why I'm the best in the biz. Carmi Levy, a tech reporter, tech analyst. Thanks for being here. Thanks for going over these stories with me.
Appreciate it, David. Thanks for having me.
This time of year, everyone talks about going dry. But at Athletic Brewing Company, we're skipping that because we prefer going athletic, which isn't dry at all. From crisp Goldens to hoppy IPAs and limited releases in between, you'll find something that fits your style. Every single non-alcoholic brew is packed with flavor and the same craft experience you love. So yeah, you could call it dry, but there's really nothing dry about it. Find your new favorite near beer at athleticbrewing.com. Athletic Brewing Company, fit for all times.